was required today after the Dow consolidated over the last 3 days back to the T line was to see which direction they were going to move it from the T line. Today's positive trading was a good indication that the T line was acting as support, that we could still be in a wave one, wave two, about ready to go into wave three. Utilizing the information of the T line, which acts like a natural support level of human nature, kind of a Fibonacci support level. The candlestick signal buy signals in conjunction with support at the T line produces much higher probabilities that we're going to start still heading up in an upward direction. As like the Dow, the NASDAQ, you can see was supporting at the T line on yesterday, Wednesday, with a little positive trading, did kind of a morning star signal off the T line, which was another good indication the T line was going to act as support. It would not be out of the realm of analysis to see the markets move back up here and go right back into this trend trajectory. Knowing that allows the candlestick investor to take advantage of the big profit moves created from candlestick pattern breakouts. Our recommendation on DAN today, D-A-N, Dana Auto Parts, was based upon the double doji setup, the bullish open yesterday, coming right up to the resistance level of a Frypan bottom. Simple recommendation. If it opened positive, you start buying, because that tells you the Frypan bottom is in the breakout mode. So what do we expect from here? If this is wave one, this is wave two, wave three should be the same magnitude as wave one. That's not any conjecture. That's just kind of analyzing that human nature works the same way as far as wave patterns. Add the prospect that we expect a big price move coming out of a Frypan bottom, as illustrated in AUPH, a chart that everybody in the chat room had been analyzing. And these are the type of results that you expect coming out of a Frypan bottom. If you logically look at a Frypan bottom, the Japanese rice traders illustrated the buildup of indecisive investor sentiment, but building positive, and these are the expectations coming out of a Frypan bottom, a big price move. Knowing that human nature works the same way time after time, we can recognize which patterns are going to have the highest probabilities of moving successfully. This is what we call a kind of a J-hook pattern, almost a bobble breakout. You can see how the first wave pulled up, it pulled right back to the T line, and note that this pattern right here is what we call a bullish flutter kicker signal. Notice that this day, a little doji gapped up from the previous day that closed right smack dab on the 200, but gapped up and did a doji type day above the open of that previous day. Then we have the doji rule, which you've just simply apply the results of most signals, such as the doji. The doji rule is if it opens positive, it's likely to trade positive, which in this case it did. And we call it a bullish flutter kicker signal because the strongest signal in candlestick analysis is the kicker signal. If you took out this little flutter, you basically have a day where it opens here, closes here, and then gaps up and goes the opposite direction. In this case, you had a little flutter, which is usually an indication that you're going to have a strong up move, which kind of confirms this J-hook pattern, that wave one and wave three are going to be approximately the same. So when you combine the signals, that kind of illustrates what the pattern is going to be. Note that in Tesla, you had a little down day. The next day they gapped it up and did a doji. Doji rule, if it opens positive, it's going to trade positive, and there's your bullish flutter kicker, which now kind of illustrates that this Frypan bottom setup is in progress. This is not rocket science. This is merely identifying the signals in the patterns that work time after time based upon the Japanese rice traders showing us what normally happens in human nature and what the results of those patterns will be. That'll be it. We'll see you in the chat rooms.